Yeah, this is a great question I get from a ton of athletes. As you probably are aware, if you're not aware yet, I do a lot of biomarker testing through Energy Performance. We offer a lot of different types of tests. And this particular question comes down to cortisol. So the question really is, should I have cortisol measured? Like, what's the deal with cortisol? Is it important to have measured? Is it important to track and look at the trends of cortisol? Absolutely 100% yes. But here's the thing. When you go to get like a normal physical, or you just go to get one blood work assessment done, one blood draw, they meaning the lab, the physician, the medical practitioner, will usually take cortisol, but it's a one-time cortisol reading, which means if you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, it is an 8 o'clock in the morning cortisol reading. If you go to 12 o'clock, it's a 12 o'clock one, right? And you'll see on the actual printout of blood work that it has ranges of cortisol based on the time of day. That is because cortisol actually fluctuates throughout the day. So when you first wake up in the morning, there is an increase in cortisol. It should happen with every single person, but unfortunately it doesn't, because there could be some issues with your adrenal glands based on the stressors that you are encountering in your life. So these stressors could be training related, social, career, relationship, you name it, right? So when your body is under stress, your adrenal glands will react appropriately and increase or decrease the amount of cortisol that is secreted. Now, back to testing. If you only have this one data point of cortisol that is measured, it doesn't give you the whole story. So if you just go in for one blood draw, gives you one data point, you might be normal, but it doesn't give you the whole picture on actually how your body is adjusting to the stressors throughout the day. And more importantly, what you can do about that, right? Because again, I think you've probably heard me say time and time again, test, don't guess, right? Don't guess what's going on in your body, have it measured. But when you do have it measured, make sure it's the correct measurement. So here's what you want to do. Yes, measuring cortisol is absolutely 100% important. Now, the proper way of doing it is to get what is called a diurnal cortisol test. So that is a saliva test that is done 4 times throughout the day. So what we're trying to measure there is how your cortisol curve, because there is a normal curve to the day. It should be higher in the morning, and then throughout the day, it should be a little bit lower, and then right before bed, it should be at its lowest. Okay. That is a normal curve. If you don't have a normal curve, we can do things about that. There are nutrition strategies, exercise strategies, timing strategies of stress management. Also, just looking at work schedules, training schedules, and nutrition schedules. So there's actually a lot that you can do if your cortisol curve is actually not normal. So back to this. Have your diurnal cortisol measured. Absolutely. I would recommend for athletes, for anyone really, twice a year. Okay. So you want to do it a little bit, you kind of want to periodize it based on the stressors of your life. So if you are like, let's say in a high training phase, or you're about to enter a high training phase, that's a great time to take it, because you want to understand how your body is adapting to the stress. Maybe after a training season or a competitive season, have another one done to see how your body is also adapting to the stress. Or maybe even in an off season where you're not training that much, to get more of a baseline cortisol curve response. So is cortisol measurement necessary? Absolutely, because you want to understand your body more. But in today's day, where a lot of people are encountering a whole bunch of different types of stressors, what I'm seeing is a lot of athletes aren't really doing well at juggling all the stress. So it's important to understand how your body is adjusting and reacting to all that stress, so you can interpret it, but more importantly, so you can implement different strategies, nutrition, lifestyle, exercise, stress management techniques and strategies to help your body account for all that stress, but more importantly, reduce it when it needs reduced, and kind of take care of it with the certain strategies that are fairly easy to implement. Now, here's the other thing. Not all people, in fact, very few people that I've measured the cortisol curve with, the diurnal cortisol, actually has a normal curve. So what this also can do, I just want to provide this information, is when you see this curve and interpreted by a health professional too, who knows kind of what they're doing and has seen this before, that can actually point you in the direction of if you are chronically fatigued, chronically stressed, or if your adrenals might not be working effectively. So that is why it's also important not to get just one reading of cortisol during the morning or afternoon. You want to have this diurnal cortisol. I'll put more information about this test if you're interested in it, but hopefully that answers the question about cortisol. Yes, it's important, but please make sure if you're going to have it done, do it correctly, get a diurnal cortisol measurement, and keep those questions coming in. I so appreciate it, and thanks for watching.